What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to another week of training. We start out with Monday doing squats and dunks. Originally, this was programmed to be 3 sets of 8 with back squat. And Liam, if you're watching this, I am very sorry that I decided to go hard and do 2 sets of 8 front squat with exactly the same weight. So this weight would have been something like an RPE 7 or a 6 with back squat. And with front squat, obviously, it'd be higher, like maybe 8, 8.5. But I've definitely built some leg strength in the previous cycles, and my legs are feeling a lot stronger than they have done in the past. I would have struggled to do a set of 5 with 120, and now I'm consistently hitting it for sets of 8. I'm also consistently hitting like 140 kilograms. I think that's like 308 pounds in pounds for you American freedom unit loving people. Anyway, leg strength has increased, and I thought that I could do these squats and then the dunks would feel fine afterwards, but that was my myopic short-sightedness. I did not realize how much doing 2 sets of 8 with like an RPE 8, maybe even up to an RPE 9, 8.5, somewhere in that range, front squats, and then deciding to do something explosive with your quads, that's not a good idea. So the program for this week was designed to be an uneventful week, just sort of cruising and not trying to push anything at all. That was the plan. You'll see later on in the video as the week progressed that plan changed quite heavily. But yeah, these front squats kind of set the tone for the week. I ended up hint pushing a little bit on a few of the days, but I paid the price for that, and shit happens. I'm okay though. No further injuries. Maybe I've just taxed myself a little bit too much this week. Then the accessory squat for the day was quarter squats with a 15-second ISO hold at the end of like an RPE 7 or 8 set. So I repped this out for 10 reps. This is 155 kilos. Just quarter squats, trying to really maximally push the knee forwards over the toe. And then when you get to around RPE 7, like 3 or 4 reps in reserve, then we're just pausing in that quarter squat position. You can see me actually like pushing the weight into my toes a little bit more to really try and get as much stimulus through that injured patella tendon. Any of you guys struggling with patella tendinopathy, you need to load the tendon. You've got to load the tendon in order to improve the rate of collagen synthesis in the tendon to help it to regenerate faster. Anyway, after that, moved into some dunks. We did 8 reps at each plant combination, or each dunk style. So we did 8 reps of off-vert dunks, 8 reps of right-left with a 3-step approach, and then 8 reps of a left-right approach, and then 8 reps of a left leg approach. Pretty basic dunks, rim height set to 9'2". They weren't feeling super great today, most probably because I completely taxed my quads with the front squats beforehand. I think in the coming week, next Monday, I'm probably going to experiment with doing the jumps first and then doing the dunks afterwards. It's been feeling really good to do like a set of squats, very light, like a moderate set of squats, and then to go into the dunks because it gets a nice pump into my quads. And also I feel like you get a small proprioception benefit. I'm not a massive believer in post-activation potentiation. For those of you that don't know what PAP is, or post-activation potentiation, it's the belief, or not the belief, it's the training methodology where you do some kind of moderate to heavy weight of like a compound exercise that's kind of similar to an explosive movement, and then you basically pair that with a little bit of rest with the explosive movement, and it's supposed to enhance your performance on the explosive movement. I'm not completely sold on the benefits of that in the acute short term, but there's definitely benefits for that in the long run of obviously just getting stronger. Getting stronger will potentiate the muscles in your legs for jumping higher and sprinting faster. So, squats, deadlifts, lunges, things like this will improve your capacity to sprint and jump. They'll increase your capacity for force production. Anyway, this is Tuesday now. I decided that this was not on the program, by the way. Liam did not program me backflips and back handsprings and round-off backflips and stuff like this. But I figured I would do this. This would be a nice warm-up for my deadlift session. I really love flipping and tricking. I got told off for doing this because, it's 2 plyometric activities paired together on one day after the other. Not the best for my knee, but we live and we learn. So yeah, these are fun. They are really clunky. These look nowhere near like the style that a gymnast would do. My round off is terrible. I'm not trying to, put these here to show off how good the form is. I just want to show that, you can kind of, all of these things here I've taught myself how to do. You can, if you've got the confidence, learn how to do things like this if you have a reasonable athletic background. One of the primary benefits I find of being just generally athletic, being able to sprint fast, jump high, lift heavy weights, be generally strong and powerful and explosive, is that you pick up explosive skills very, very easily. If you can jump pretty darn high and you're also pretty strong, and you've got strong knees, strong quads, strong calves, strong ankles, like all the joints in your lower body, or just your whole body in general for that matter, if they're strong and agile and capable of doing generally athletic things like weightlifting, jumping and sprinting, then you're going to pick up other similar athletic skills pretty easily. What is a backflip but a jump with a tuck and then rolling backwards? Like a backflip is dead easy if you know how to jump decently high. If you've got the height for it, it's just overcoming the fear of landing on your neck and dying, basically. So anyway, after the flips, we got into some deficit deads. Top set of 4 at 180, which was around about an RP 8 or 9. Stripped the bar down to 170, did 2 sets of 4 at 170, and then I decided I would try my power clean prowess at 110. Still got it, felt like that was quite easily. And then all we had after that was upper body, so 5x5 strict press. Wanted to push for like 67.5 today. That would be a 5 rep PR, but I was struggling at 60, and then 65, I barely managed to get it. It was more like a RPE 8 or 9 at 65. So strict press feels like it's kind of stagnating at the moment with the stuff that I'm doing right now, but there's just a lot of other stuff that I'm focusing on in the training. Some loo raises after that, which were pretty nice. Obviously, I had to do it in the lighting to see how the physique was developing. This is probably the best physique I've ever had. You can see it in the lighting here as well. I'm probably the most muscular I've ever been, and also like the leanest I've ever been at that body weight. So I'm currently 88, 89 kilograms. It's the heaviest I've ever been, but it's also the lowest body fat percentage I've ever been at that weight. I've been like up to 90 before, back when I started Athletic Every Day, way back when. I think that was January 23. I must have been like 90, 91 kilograms when I was like peaking for weightlifting. But like I'm almost the same weight as that now, much stronger now. In fact, I'm lighter than that now, much stronger now, and also leaner. So many benefits of athletic training. We moved into pull-ups after this. I did a set of 2 sets of 5, top set at 40 kilograms, added onto the weight belt. Then did a back off set with a 1 second pause for a set of 10 at the bottom of the rep for the chins as well. Decided to do chins today just because I wanted a bit more of a bicep stimulus. Looking after a dog this week. This is Tilly. She's incredibly cute. I wanted to put this in because she's absolutely adorable. Then moving on to Thursday, I got into the heavier, like higher intensity stimulus back squat for the week. Program said triple at 150. I was feeling it today on that day, and I managed to get a really, really nice fast moving triple at 160, which used to be my 1RM. I've never moved 160 for a triple before, especially not like I've never even moved 160 at that speed, especially not for a triple. I would have been happy for a single with the speed of that last rep. It felt so good, in fact, that I decided I was going to go balls to the wall and try and max out my squat, get a new 1RM at 180, which obviously was very premature and very dumb thing to do, but we tried anyway. Would have been cool if I made it, but it is what it is. So that pretty much rounded out Thursday, and then Friday it was sprints with lower body accessories and kind of like subsidiary exercises for the lower body. I was meant to do sprinting with the sprint group, which is like the athletics club for the center that I train in. Ended up that I don't think I would have had the time or the energy to do max velocity sprints. I think it would have been a bit too fatiguing on the patella tendon, so I ended up just doing a shorter acceleration session. So that session ended up being a structure of a weighted sled sprint. I say weighted because the weight of the sled is more than enough to actually be a weight in and of itself. It's like one of those really thick sleds. It probably weighs about 20 kilograms. So weighted sled sprint, then I superset that with just a regular unweighted sprint. 20 meters a piece, 3 reps a piece, 6 reps total. Very low volume, really just focusing on keeping the plyometric intensity and volume as low as possible while still doing something explosive to maintain explosiveness while I recover my patella tendon. Not gonna lie, this probably did flare up my patella tendon more than if I just not sprinted at all and gone in and done the weight stuff, but it is what it is. You got to keep the sprints in at least a little bit. Then first accessory was a hack squat on this kind of funny hack squat machine. Coach told me to put some pads behind the seat of the hack squat, which I did, which increased the range of motion, which meant that I could get a little bit more range of motion, which I wasn't quite used to. Got pinned in the bottom here, but I was able to get it back up again. I found that having the extra range of motion did mean that I was able to get a little bit more knee flexion in the bottom position, a little bit more of that stretch reflex, kind of turning it into more like a true squat. These felt good. I could really feel the tension going across the patella tendon, so it's obviously doing the right thing. It's providing a decent stimulus, but I am not used to hack squats at all. I'm not used to squat accessories in general. I've just used to be a bit more of a purely barbell purist when it comes to leg training, or maybe occasionally doing a set of leg extensions or seated leg curls, but I've been doing a lot more accessories recently. Then moving into some Hatfield split squats. I really like Hatfield split squats purely because you can get a maximal, or probably what I would argue is a super maximal load going through one leg, and you can definitely overload the eccentric portion here. You can load a weight that you probably couldn't stand up with without assistance, and then because you've got the stability and the support, you've got like those 3 points of contact on the bar, 2 hands on the bar, and then one leg on that box behind you. Really is a fantastic way. I would argue one of the best single leg exercises you can do for building up true leg strength. So it's absolutely a fantastic accessory to build up the legs, purely because also that you can change the emphasis of the exercise. You can drive the knee more forward and have a more upright torso angle. You can control it with your hands, or you can push the hips back a little bit more, and then you can get a little bit more of a posterior chain, like glute and hamstring focus. So that's fantastic as well. Some terminal knee extensions there, and then we finished up this workout and the week of training with some lying leg curls to hit the hammies, the distal portion of the hammies. So that's pretty much it for this training week. Hope you guys enjoyed and got some value out of watching it. Stay tuned for the next week where we will be continuing to train. Catch you in the next one.